My name is Kathryn Antman. I am an elementary school art educator in Clayton County, and I'm also my school's tech liaison. And so while we have been learning virtually, I have had a lot of fun exploring some new ways to make art solely using our devices. So we are a Google school. So these are all Google-based ways to make art, but they've been really fun, and my kids have really enjoyed it, and it's been really nice to have things where they don't have to worry about going to get materials or finding things to use to make art. They're already in the computer and available. What you see on the screen next to my head is the handout. Those links will take you to the things I'm about to show you, so you will have all of the information. And my email is right there in case you get stuck or need it. We're going to start with making collages in Google Drawing. I don't love Google Drawings. It's a little bit finicky to use to actually draw, but for collages, it works really beautifully. So I've got some shapes already on there, but basically you only need like 3 of the tools to know how to make a collage in here. So the first one obviously is your shape tool. Go in here and you've got all different kinds of shapes, all kinds of fun stuff. So you just pick one, and y'all know how to do this, but click and drag to size it. And then the other tools that I always teach, even my youngest learners, are how to change the colors. So click on the shape you want to change. The fill color is that paint bucket. Let's make it yellow. And then the outline color, we're going to make it green. And then this one too is how thick the border is. So then you can do that. And then of course you can move it around and rearrange it, which is the fun of collage. Now, the thing that I teach my older students is how to order the shapes. So these 3 shapes right here, the circles in the back, then the rectangle, and then the triangle. But I can change that. So if I click on the rectangle, and I go to arrange and order, I can put it up in front of the triangle. I can go back to the same place and send it all the way to the back behind the circle and the triangle. And you can see, and that's a really nice tool for working with depth, with the probably 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and on up, and letting them layer things in a really kind of basic way to get used to how layers work, which of course comes in handy when you are doing things later in more advanced programs. So that is collages, really, really easy and really fun. You could, of course, add text. You could add other photographs and stuff. There are lots of ways to add complication to this, but that's the nice basics for collage. And in your handout, there is a link to this collage tool, Google Drawings tool cheat sheet, so you can share that with your students if it is helpful to you. And now we're going to move on to pixel art, and this is so much fun. I love this. My kids got real excited when I shared it with them. So basically, this is just a spreadsheet that's set up in little squares instead of the longer rectangles, and I have pre-done the formatting up here to make it when you put a letter T, say, in there, it turns it that purple. Okay? I did not invent this idea. I saw this from some other art teachers and learned how to do it off YouTube. So hopefully you will enjoy it as much as I have, but it's basically just a really easy way to make a pixelated picture. You are going to have a link to force copy this sheet so you can use it as already formatted and share it with your students and not have to mess with it, but I want to show you how to format it in case you want to change anything or make your own. So the first thing you do is click right up here in the corner, and that will highlight your entire sheet. Any changes you make will be applied to the whole sheet. So that's how I made the columns skinnier so that it was a square. And then that's also how we're going to add the formatting. So once we've got the whole thing highlighted, we're going to go to Format and Conditional Formatting. And of course, this one already has a ton of formatting in there, which is fine. I'm going to show you how to add it. Another one if you wanted another color. Here's my range. It's the whole sheet, so I don't have to worry about anywhere not working. This part is one of the things you're going to want to change. If you're going to use a letter as your key, then you want to choose text contains. I've already used all the letters, so this time I'm going to use a number, which means I'm going to go down here and say is equal to. All right, and this is what it would normally look like. And what is equal to, I'm going to put the number 2 in there because over here on my side, number 1's already taken by red, so I'm going to use number 2 right there. And then I need to decide what color I want the text to be and what color I want the fill to be, and I want both of those to be the same, because right now if I used it the number 2 would show up black and then there'd be green behind it, and that's not what we're looking for. So I am going to, let's see, I'm going to turn it this green color. So there's my text. Notice the text is that darker green. Now I'm going to go over here to the fill color, and I'm going to get that same green, and now it all matches and fills completely. I'm going to click done. All right, so if the value is equal to 2, it's going to turn it to that color. So I can go over here, click on something, and click 2, and there is my color. And so then obviously you can just make all kinds of pictures this way. It's just coloring in by typing in a letter or a number. If I were to keep that, I would definitely go over here and push 2 so that that would stay as a key to the students for what color to push. And I might move this little arm over one just so there's a little bit more of a barrier between the edge of their picture and the key so it doesn't get messed with, but that is entirely up to you. That is our pixel art. And again, the copy of this is in our handout for today, so don't worry if that was kind of fast. The last thing I want to show you how to do is to use Google Slides for animation. And it is so much fun. My kids got so excited when I showed them how to do this. They've been bugging me to do some stop motion, and I had been trying to figure out an app or something for that would work on our Chromebooks, and I couldn't really find one that I liked. So, all right, we're going to try it in here. I'm going to delete the words because I don't need them, but obviously if you wanted a title, you could keep those. And you could use the background and choose image to find a background if you want. I'm going to skip that real quick because I want this to be real fast, and it will go faster if I don't do that. So I am going to click the Explore button as a way to get my characters, the action that's going to happen. And I am going to type up here ball, and I'm going to type in PNG. Okay, and then on images, and now I have a bunch of balls, right? So let's see. I think I want one that does not have a shadow, so I'm going to go with this one. It's got shadow on it, but not beneath it, and I'm going to insert it. The reason I put PNG in is because that will help find ones that have a transparent background. All right, I'm going to scoot myself over here again. I'm going to close that out. You could do the same thing to find characters. I'm going to make my ball the size I want it, and I'm actually going to X off the link so that it's out of the way. And I'm going to slide it off of my slide. So the first slide is going to be blank. And I'm actually going to slide it way up here because I want it up there. All right, so when I've got my first slide the way I want it, I'm going to click on it over here in the film strip. I'm going to push Control and the letter D, and that will duplicate the slide. And then I'm going to slide in my ball, click over here, duplicate it, Control D. And the one that pulls up is always going to be the most recent one. So you don't have to worry about matching things up. It's already, the piece is already in the same place, and you can just move it a little bit. Click over there, Control D. Make sure you click in the film strip because otherwise you will just duplicate your ball or your action, and that is not helpful. So you just basically keep doing Control D and moving your thing until you've got it the way you want it. If you want to check how the animation is going, you can just use your arrow buttons on your keyboard. So there's what's happening. It's coming down. Obviously, I would continue this. I would get it down to the bottom. I would probably distort it a little bit when it hit the bottom so that it would, not using that part. I'd probably distort it a little that way so it looks like it bounced and then get it back again. But I'm not going to worry about that right now. What I do want to show you is how to get it all to animate and show it to people when you're done. So we're going to go up here to File, and we're going to come down to Publish to Web. And this is the really important part. You want to change this 3 seconds to every second. I wish it could be faster because normal animation goes faster than that, but this is what we have access to. And then start the slideshow at the beginning. And if you want it to loop, click Restart it at the end. If you don't, leave it blank. And then click Publish. And it's going to say, do you really want to publish it? Yes. And you're going to give you, it's going to give you a link. And so press Control C to copy that link, just like it says. I'm going to open up a new browser window, and I'm going to push Control V to paste it and enter. And here is our little animation. And as you can see, it's a little bit jerky. It'd be really easy to make slow motion kind of animation this way, but it is perfectly, it works perfectly for the basic idea, and kids can get used to it. This would also be a good start to something like Pixel that lets you make little GIFs, because they could get the idea of different frames and moving it a little bit each time. So there's a lot of opportunity here to be played with. So I hope you have enjoyed our exploration of some digital art tools that you can find in Google that are free, and I hope you and your students have a great time playing with and making some digital art. If you need it, my contact info is right there in our sheet, and I hope you have a great rest of the day.